Have you been doing manifestation work, but nothing is really kind of coming together for you? And you are thinking like, am I even doing this right? Well, if you are feeling this way, this video is for you. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome. If you are coming back, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you. My name is Cassie, and on this channel, we talk all things of healing, self-love, self-care, and of course, becoming your dream woman. So yeah, have you ever felt that you're doing everything right on this manifestation journey? I mean, you're scripting, you're journaling, you're embodying your future self, you're speaking positively about your situation and over your life. You know, you're trying to stay in that high vibration as everyone says to do. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel like, it's not going well for you. Because for the longest time, I believe that I simply, followed all of these manifestation teachers and techniques correctly, then eventually my dream life would just show up for me. Wow, right? That's what they try to tell you. I also thought if I persisted enough, affirmed enough, if I scripted enough, if I stayed positive enough, then eventually everything would just fall into place. And honestly, some of those practices really has helped me. One of my favorites has actually been, the revision practice, and I still do it to this day. Revision has helped me, stop replaying the painful memories of the past. It has helped me rewrite how I emotionally experience situations today. And it has helped me begin expecting good things instead of constantly preparing for disappointment. So I'm not here to say that manifestation practices are useless. They're not. Many of them has helped me heal my mindset, has helped me think differently, and has helped me stop living in survival mode so much. But eventually, God showed me something that completely changed my perspective. Missing piece that many manifestation teachers don't mention, and I've even heard some say that it is not about God's timing. You could do it in your own timing. You just keep doing the work, keep pushing. And I just want to tell you that if you are on a path with God, that is certainly not true. I'm not saying to stop doing those manifestation techniques because, like I said, I think they're helpful. I think they help shift your mindset. I think they help, look at the positive aspects of your life and different things like that. But you also have to figure in a few things, right? You create your own reality. They try to tell you that you don't need anyone, but they are just not in a consciousness to even really understand that no matter if they believe it or not, that God is in it, right? God is definitely in it for them, right? I think manifestation practices are really something to help bring you to the next level of life. I didn't say that the manifestation is corrupt or, anything like that. Maybe some of the teachers doesn't present it in a way that is conducive for everybody, but I think that, they also are trying to sell their things, right? They're trying to sell their stories. So they can't tell you up front that sometimes God won't allow you to get these things, right? In your timing. You will get them in His timing. God is not going to allow you to get ahead of Him. He is doing work in your life. He is preparing your character for what is next in your life. He's healing your heart. He's teaching you wisdom. He's not going to let you just skip this process and voila, have everything that you want. Because if he handed you everything before you were ready to have them, you might lose those manifestations. Or worse, you can actually destroy them. I did become frustrated before I realized this, because I thought, even doing my healing work with God, I was like, okay, I'm healing, I'm doing everything, and he's still not honoring my manifestations. And so there was a season where I absolutely felt defeated from this. I was doing all of the work every day, journaling, affirming, embodying, living as my future self. I truly believed like my breakthrough was right around the corner. Then nothing happened. The opportunities that was there disappeared. Doors ended up closing on me. Things I thought were certain completely fell apart. I started questioning everything. Maybe manifestation isn't real. Maybe God forgot about me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe everyone else can manifest besides me. But does that sound familiar? If the enemy can convince you to quit, then he never has to worry about you receiving what God has planned for you already. Looking back now, I realized something. Nothing was being wasted, right? Every affirmation, every journal entry, every prayer, every visualization, every moment that I chose faith over fear, that was actually changing me internally as a person. And even circumstances hasn't changed yet, I had internally, right? And that's the part that I was completely overlooking in this process of feeling defeated. One thing that has helped me think differently was imagining all of those prayers, right? All of those hopes, all of my dreams being stored, almost like in a spiritual bank account. Never forgotten, never ignored, just simply waiting. Waiting until I became the person who could actually sustain those blessings. Because getting something isn't the hard part, keeping it is. And that's what we need to remember, because it's easy to get something. Like, I don't want to say easy, but let's just use this as an example, right? You win the lottery. You win millions of dollars. And that process was pretty easy. You didn't have to work for it. You had to buy some lottery tickets. Maybe you had to do some manifestation work or whatnot. But in the scheme of things, that money came to you pretty easy. But now, you're not prepared. Basically, you have been just managing, your bi-weekly paychecks that you have been receiving, and you're not even really making great decisions with that, because you're just like, oh, well, they'll come back next week, or, you're not really understanding the importance of investing, the importance of, not needing to splurge, and also having like discernment of who actually deserves time and for you to buy people things. Because when you get blessed and you have a lot of money, people come out of the woodworks. I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? We've been best friends. Let's go to do dinner. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. And you get a flock of best friends now that you never even knew that you had. But you don't want to be mean, because you just are feeling like, oh, I'm gonna bless everybody and it's gonna be great. And then come to find out, sooner rather than later, voila, your money is gone, because you didn't know how to steward it properly. You gave it to this person, splurged on this, thought this was gonna be a great thing. you never went and spoke with a proper investor to help you make the best decisions and help make this money grow and work for you. That's where a lot of people go wrong who win the lottery. They don't do these things, you know. They go buy those expensive mansions, they go buy these cars, they go pay their family's bills and all these other things. And then in a few years, they are left with nothing. And that's what God doesn't want for us, okay? God doesn't want to bless you with these amazing things, and then in 6 months, you are without anything because you couldn't hold it. If that was, you know, financially, if that was a job, if that was, you know, love, whatever the case may be. Anyone can receive money, right? But can you manage it? Anyone can attract a relationship, but can you maintain one, especially a healthy one? It's good to maintain like a toxic one, but in order to maintain a healthy relationship, it's going to require a lot of deep work, a lot of adjustment, a lot of change. And so anyone can buy a business, right? But can you lead it? You can even buy your dream home, but can you steward it well? God isn't just concerned with giving you blessings. He's preparing you to keep them long term. And that's a completely different process than just manifesting. And honestly, I think most of these manifestation people, you know, they're not manifesting millions of dollars. They're manifesting some slight changes within their lives, you know. But if you really want substantial change, like becoming a millionaire, having a successful business, having a divine partnership, you know, you're going to need to have some patience within this process. Because, you know, this year looked very different for me. It wasn't just about healing my trauma anymore. It became much deeper. Because God began removing things that I couldn't see. Old identities, old fears, old beliefs, old emotional patterns. And recently, you know, God reminded me just how far I've actually come, you know, within this process. Because honestly, I kind of forgot. I kept looking at what I didn't have. And instead of recognizing who I had become, when I compared the woman I am today to the woman I was last December, they're not even the same person. My thought process has changed. My identity has changed. The way I speak has changed. And the way I respond has changed as well. Even the way I trust God has changed. Everything has changed. And maybe the same is true for you as well. We spend so much time measuring our results to what we see online that we end up forgetting about measuring our growth. Start keeping track of that. Notice your emotional reactions. Notice what no longer triggers you anymore. Notice how much peace you actually have. Notice the things that you have released. Notice that confidence that you have. Notice that you now have boundaries that you never had in the past. Because that's all evidence that your transformation is happening just in a different way than what you may think it should. And here is something else that I had to learn. Oh, yes, God tests us. Oh, not because he's trying to punish us, but because he wants to reveal what's still inside of us. He may allow disappointment, delay, closed doors, unexpected challenges not to destroy you, but to show you where you still need growth. Every test asks the same question. Will you trust me? Even when you don't see the promise yet. And honestly, sometimes that is one of the hardest things to do. I've been so accustomed to think that we are actually in control of our lives. But once, you kind of sit back and you start doing this work with God and you start like really thinking back of all of the times and you're like, yeah, I actually didn't have that control. I thought I was strong, but no, God given me the strength to get through all of the obstacles that I needed to when I was younger to keep going. So it wasn't that I was doing all of this work in my own strength. And even today, I'm still not doing it in my own strength. And one of the biggest lessons that God has taught me was, was to stop reacting and to start responding. Oh, those are two completely different things. Reaction is emotional. Response is intentional. Reaction comes from fear. Response comes from wisdom. When something doesn't go your way, pause, pray, ask God, what are you trying to show me here today? That simple question can completely change your perspective. And it may take a little time for it to unfold, so be patient with this process. Because sometimes, we ask God for big blessings while neglecting what He's already given us. If you want a beautiful home, take care of the one that you currently have. Even if it's an apartment, it's still your home. Love it, take care of it, nourish it, all of those things. If you want a new car, maintain your current one. If you want wealth, learn stewardship now. If you want an amazing marriage, become emotionally healthy first. God often watches how we handle today's responsibilities before He's entrusting us with tomorrow's opportunities. And if you're watching this today, please don't quit. Don't let the disappointment convince you that God isn't working. Don't let the delay convince you that you have been forgotten. Don't let closed doors make you believe that your dreams are dead. God isn't just preparing you your blessings. He's preparing you. And honestly, that's the greater miracle. Because when the blessings finally arrive, you're actually going to be able to keep them. So continue praying, continue journaling, continue renewing your mind daily, continue speaking life over yourself, continue becoming. Trust God's timing, trust His process, trust His pruning. Oh yes, He loves to prune us. And one day you will look back just like I did and realize that while you were waiting for your life to change, God was changing you. And that transformation was the very thing that made your dream life possible. So if this message encouraged you, let me know in the comments. What season are you currently in? Waiting, healing, or receiving? I'd love to pray for you. And if you enjoy videos like this and learning about self-worth and self-love and self-care and becoming your dream woman, please like, subscribe to my channel because I talk about this every week. And I would love for you to join me on this journey. So I love you, and I will see you in the next video. God bless, and remember that your manifestations will come when you are ready.